Hey, remember that one time that Kakyoin laid an egg? If you don't know what I mean by this, prep yourself because it's insane. And it all starts with a popular manga artist group that goes by the name Clamp. Clamp is an all-female Japanese manga artist group that formed in the mid-1980s. You may not know their name particularly, but you've probably seen their work before, as they're most well-known for the creation of Cardcaptor Sakura and developing the designs for the anime Code Geass. Back in 1994, the group had put together an event to help advertise their fan-created content in doujinshi, which was called Clamp in Wonderland. For anyone potentially uninitiated, doujinshi is a Japanese term used to describe self-published works. In the case of Clamp, this refers to their original manga as well as fan works based on other popular series. Of course, one notable property that the group would tackle in their fan works and would feature in their event was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You can even see it prominently featured in the fanzine cover that I'm showing you right now. Although I'm unsure as to why Sonic the Hedgehog is there and why he's so small. Joseph doesn't seem to mind though. He looks shockingly unfazed by it. Definitely couldn't be me. If I saw Sonic in real life, I'd lose my shit. The fan work that was included inside of the doujin went under the title of JoJo's Bizarre Married Life. It was an obviously not even close to canon story that chronicled Jotaro Kujo's life after the insane events of Stardust Crusaders finale. Just a few things to note here before we go forward and talk about its story. It's a common misconception that this doujinshi made its premiere during the Clamp in Wonderland event. In reality, it had existed before this, but Clamp in Wonderland is what popularized it and what it's most associated with. Also, despite what the title may have you think, this story doesn't concern Jotaro's actual wife from part 6, or Jolene whatsoever. As I said before, this event was held in 1994. Stone Ocean's original manga run started later in 2000. Thus, certain future events aren't referenced or connected in any way. I feel like the best way to think about this story is to view it as a kind of weird alternate history tale that happens after the events of part 3. Alright, with all that said and done, let's break down the plot of JoJo's Bizarre Married Life. Our story actually begins in Clamp Laboratory number 6, a short printed fanzine which was the 6th and final release of Clamp's zine series under the Clamp Laboratory banner. Clamp in Wonderland would be advertised in the back of this book for the summertime. However, within its glossy pages were the first few chapters of this epic story. After the events of Stardust Crusaders, but somehow paradoxically with all of its protagonists and Dio still alive, guess they all called a truce and decided to play some Mario Kart or something. As it turns out, our main man Kakyoin is forced to sign marriage documents and become a stay-at-home housewife to our main man, Jotaro Kujo. The reason behind this isn't outright stated, but I mean, like, come on man, let's be real. The comic then jumps forward a bit and showcases Kakyoin attempting to make a breakfast for his friends for the very first time, but is sadly then thwarted in his trade wife duties by none other than the murderous vampire Dio Brando, who uses the power of his stand to eat all of the food while time is stopped. I'ma be real man, I'd use the world for that shit too. His evil is not rewarded however, as it is revealed after the time stop that all of Kakyoin's food is, in fact, just horrible. Seeing what ingredients he likes to use, I'm not surprised. And this causes Dio to become extremely ill. At some point after this, the Crusaders become very curious when Jotaro and Kakyoin go to bed together, with Joseph taking the initiative to do what is best and definitely not insanely creepy and invasive by using Hermit Purple and a TV set to peek in at them. As is predictable, they all immediately regret their actions once they receive their vision, with Jotaro scolding them all the next day, and Kakyoin rightfully returning to his own house. However, despite the tumultuous hurdles of married life, Kakyoin wakes up in the morning to discover that he has, in fact, laid an egg. Yeah, he laid an egg. Just don't question it. After Kakyoin reveals the egg to his friends and explains what he think happened, they take it surprisingly well, all things considered. When the baby eventually hatches, he is revealed to have a star-shaped birthmark on his shoulder, confirming his destined fate to, also run Dio out of his kitchen at breakfast time. I don't know. They end up naming their child Jotaro. Said child then goes to grow at an alarming rate, not unlike that weird animatronic Twilight baby. He actually ends up growing so fast that he's even able to attend school within a week of his freakish hatching. Jealous that his child is a child and gets attention for it, Jotaro decides the best course of action is, for some reason, to fight his baby to the death. However, in doing so, he inadvertently needles Jota into awakening his own stand, which looks like a more chibi-looking version of Star Platinum. Too lazy to offer a suggestion for the stand's name, Polnareff insists that Jotaro is the one to name it. And so, annoyed by this, Jotaro walks to the kitchen, grabbing the first thing he can find, a brand of green dish soap named Charmy Green, which he then names his child's stand after. Yeah, his child's psychic essence is named after Charmy Green dish soap. Great fatherly instincts there, Jotaro. Great dad overall. If you ever have a second kid, you can always name it Downy Ultra Soft. So yeah, now we have the new character, Jotaro, and his stand, Charmy Green. After 10 years have passed, Jota is now old enough to go to high school, and ends up becoming the best of pals with Part 4 protagonist Josuke Higashikata. Their friendship crumbles, however, when Josuke congratulates Jotaro and Kakyoin on their marriage, because Jota resents his father for the one time he tried to square him up, which, yeah, you know, makes sense. Unfortunately, despite the gripping narrative going on here, this would ultimately be the last we saw of JoJo's bizarre married life. This doesn't mean that Clamp forgot about their strange fanfiction, however, as it would also again be referenced in the Clamp in Wonderland series of music videos produced by Studio Madhouse. Yes, you heard me right, Studio Madhouse. The studio who made such bangers as Perfect Blue, Trigun, Black Lagoon, Death Note, Paprika, Wolf Children, Parasite the Maxim, One Punch Man, and even the 2011 Hunter x Hunter anime. They collaborated with Clamp to produce promotional music videos for the Clamp in Wonderland event. It featured characters from their previous works, stretching from 1989 to 1994, with a later sequel featuring even more Clamp characters going all the way up until 2006. Both of these were released on DVD on October 26, 2007, as Clamp in Wonderland 1 and 2, 1989 to 2006. The first music video even features Jota and Charmy Green from JoJo's Bizarre Married Life, as well as an older Jota right here before the credits roll. It's kind of bizarre to think about how Studio Madhouse animated a JoJo fanfiction character before the JoJo series itself got an official full anime adaptation. This would be the last time that we ever saw Jota in any sort of media created by Clamp, so with that, I have to say, we'll miss you, Jotaro. Gone, but never forgotten. As if anyone could forget the weird egg baby. Hey, if you like this video and you want to see more, it's actually just a smaller part of a much larger trivia series that I've been hosting on my main channel. So if you want to see me talk about more JoJo content and be an absolute clown, check out the link at the top of the description for the full playlist.